UK services, Lamarzi and Who1.co.uk present the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast.
Hello and welcome to the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast, episode 538 off the top of my head. I'm Adam, and something about vampires or whatever, blah 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 blah, I kissed Amy, blah blah blah, whatever. And here's Burby Cartlett Sloan.
Blimey, fish from space have never been so buxom.
Shen Butler.
I haven't got a clue what I'm doing here.
Mary Lang.
I'm a Time Lord. You're a big fish. Think of the children.
Nice one. That's the best one so far. Well done, Mary. Yes, today we're going to be vampiring in Venice as briefly as we possibly can for health and safety reasons.
Because it's 9,000 degrees everywhere.
Yes.
Is this unusually hot summer for you this year?
Well, they're making ideas. We had a hot one 2 years ago, and we had another hot one in 1976.
Yeah, so 3 summers in 35 years
Yes.
now are apparently equivalent to global warming. So I'm not a global warming denier. I just think people go a little bit over the top on it.
It's
because
hot.
Yes, I agree.
It's hot. Yes, it's hot. We have hot and cold times. The planet warms up and cools down by itself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that means, you know, Ben, don't you? Yeah, that means we're going to get an incredibly wet winter.
Winter?
Incredibly wet.
Why, is it going to be raining lots outside?
No, in winter. I said
winter.
winter. I said winter.
I thought you said an incredibly wet winter.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Stop ganging up. It's called bullying. Right then.
We're not ganging up. We're just correcting errors.
So yes, vampires in Venice, which, like I say, I'm going to rush through as quickly as possible. And
Well,
I've accidentally
what,
clicked on Amy's Choice. No, I didn't. Actually. I definitely clicked on Oh no, it's Times of Angels.
Well,
Times of Angels.
Master.
Can we not even start the bloody programme without an interruption?
9 years ago, 9 years ago, I wasn't on the podcast where we discussed this. So
I don't give a tinker's cuss.
And I'm going to stay here, but I'm going to turn my microphone off because that unholy din in the background of everyone's ears is my air conditioner because we've just.
I don't hear it anymore.
Do you not?
Did you say an unholy din?
If you hear it now.
Right. Yeah. Well, probably can if you pause.
It's fine.
Oh, is it?
It's not causing an issue.
I keep on getting Amy's Choice come up when I'm clicking on Vampires in Venice. What the hell's going on? Oh, no, it's still Amy's Choice. Then. I'm getting cross.
Well, we could do Amy's Choice.
I don't want to do Amy's Choice.
It yet.
Now I'm getting Time of Angels. I click on Vampires in Venice, and it's Amy's Choice. What happens if you click on Amy's Choice? That'd be interesting to see what happens. Oh, it's still Amy's Choice. Oh, good. I can't actually go and review the episode. Yes, get in. Right, I'll still have to do it by memory.
What's the next bit? Sponsors?
Yeah. Right then, so it's Amy's Choice.
What do you do, Master? Go to the end of the Angel two-parter and then let it continue playing, and it will give you...
They don't do that on Apple TV.
How am I supposed to know that?
Normally you just click on the episode and it plays. Obviously there's an error. And I mean error, not as in era, which is because obviously Americans say the word era as error. Right then, so I'm going to do it from what I can remember for having watched it about 10 minutes ago. So yeah, it begins with obviously Rory's on a stag do, and who pops out the cake book? Le Doctor, who says something about, I kissed Amy, and I'm going to take you away for a romantic weekend, sort of. And so that's what he does, and they sort of eventually decide on Venice, where we'd already had a pre-title sequence of a young girl called Isabella being given away by her dodgy father
How did Master?
to some sort of school. Yes?
How did Isabella like being in a story?
Well, I expect 10 years ago she would have been quite excited about it. This year she just wants to stay in a room and talk to her friends online, so that's probably about as interesting. Anyway, she doesn't refer to herself.
Sounds like she's repeating.
She doesn't
Alicia.
refer to herself as Isabella anymore. The dog's starting to snore now. That's every time she thinks of Andy Nunny, this does occur. Anyway, so they end up after obviously this Isabella gets taken in by this school, and what's the name? Draco Malfoy's mum gets her teeth out and gets all. They arrive in in Venice. It doesn't look very like Venice, to be fair, but nevertheless, it's Venice.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. And
I think they did a great job with using that Croatian city as Venice.
Okay. They initially do a little bit of tourism, and then Amy and Rory overhear a bit of an argument between Draco Malfoy's mum and her son, which isn't Draco, must be his brother, and get a bit nosy. And the Doctor overhears something as well. To cut a longer story short, they start poking their nose in, and there's some quite good scenes in which the Doctor sort of, well, initially Doctor-esque sends Amy into the danger zone, sort of tells her to pretend to be, well, Rory's got to be her brother, and
Master, incorrect.
Rory pretends to be her brother.
Master.
No.
The Doctor did not want
Amy insisted.
That at all. He was completely against it.
Amy insisted.
There
we go. Got there in the end, didn't we? And hang on, have a sip. It's my hot weather medicine. How can you
watch it if you can't watch it now?
No. Anyway, so I got ice and make God. I'm try. So anyway, so they go in and they sort of manipulate Amy to get taken in after using some psychic paper. I was a bit surprised they actually got taken in by the psychic paper.
I love the snoring in the background.
During the dog snoring.
She's only snoring because she's got a permanent dressing around her head, and it sort of constricts her neck a little bit and it makes her snore. She used to snore anyway. She's just snores a hell of a lot more now. Shut up, Star. This is probably why Deb said she must be in this room while we're doing the show, to be fair. So so Amy gets taken in very quickly. Gets put in a dormitory and finds Isabella. And I thought, oh, hooray! It's saved. Isabella is saved. And but obviously it was a sad aspect of that story. Sorry.
You completely skipped that wonderful scene where the Doctor...
Rory? No, not the one where Rory and the son of Draco Malfoy's mum had a bit of a fight between the stick and a sword. That scene? Or
no,
another scene when
that's towards the end.
You talk about the scene where the Doctor sees the vampire girls. What?
Master, the Doctor sonics his way in at first instead of coming in through the well.
Yes.
And he ends up down and sees all the vampire girls in the mirror.
Yes, that's the scene I just referred to. And the first Doctor library card.
Yes. Okay.
Yes,
fine.
Yes, I did see that. I did watch the episode. In fact, I told you I watched it this afternoon. Anyway, so
but you can't watch it now.
No, shut up. What did I get up to? Right. So Rory ends up. They sort of eventually patch their minor disagreement up and decide to try and enjoy Venice, but then get quickly embroiled in a little bit of a skirmish, where Rory's sort of trying to protect himself with a broom against a young lad with a knife.
Boy, you completely skipped all the business where Amy is almost turned into one of the girls.
Yeah, I did skip that bit because I'm trying to get through it quickly.
And Rory and the Doctor comparing the sizes of their lights.
Yes, and there was a reference to some innuendo. And there's also, I missed a very good scene in which Rory tells the Doctor off for always placing Amy in danger.
Yeah,
which is iconic lines. I'm sure somebody can remind me what those lines are, while I dabble in some hot weather medicine.
Yeah, that's my.
You know what's dangerous about you? Something. You know what's dangerous about you? Something you make people take risk is you make them want to impress you.
Yes,
you make it so that they don't want to let you down.
That's it. Yes, good lines. Anyway, so. What happened next? Oh yeah, so then they decide to force Isabella to jump in the canal thingy and get eaten by these sort of relatives of theirs. Also, because she got her little machine, sort of perception filter machine broken, she keeps on reverting to her fish form, which unfortunately, even though this is HD, the CGI does look a bit naff. Did somebody say Master?
It looks fine because it's a perception filter.
Oh, that's why, is it? Okay.
Master. The for the swimming scenes, they had the people be wearing special dry suits, not wetsuits, to keep warm in the water. And one of the producers, Beth Willis, actually was the person they used to test that with.
Oh, sorry, I'm just watching the 100 because it looks like Southern Brave aren't going to get a particularly good total. Where do I get up to? Oh, yeah, so obviously Isabella.
135's not bad.
I don't know. Well, after I side the other day got 157. I'm sure that's really very good. Where did I get up to? Oh yeah, so Isabella gets done in. Very sad. I felt sorry for her because I thought the whole hope of that side of the story was you saw Isabella get taken in by these people and her poor dad, who's obviously a widower, and he did say that she meant everything to him. So your hope is that this girl who meant everything to a bloke you sort of initially start liking would make it through the story, but no, she suffers a death, and it's very, very. I find that quite sad.
Really sad, yeah.
Yeah, sort of lack of hope for me in that particular element. But anyway, so they've got this plan. I can't remember what the plan is, but I think they're going to take over the world because they've come through a crack in time. And
they were chased by the silence.
Something about the silence, which Stephen Moffat hadn't decided what the silence was at this stage, but he just put the word in, and we'll decide what it is later on. It then, to cut a longer story short, it resulted in the Doctor climbing up the sort of cathedral roof thingy and going up to the little globe thing on the top and lifting it open and stopping it from working, and all the leather, because it was getting a bit stormy up to that point. As soon as he flicked the switch, all the skies cleared and everybody was okay.
With using the crack various times.
I beg your pardon?
Amy's crack, you can see it in the
sky. Can you? I didn't see that bit. I must no wonder.
Yes, you did.
Hang on, I must rewind.
You're the one who brought it up to the rest of us.
And after a sort of fairly happy ending, apart from poor Isabella, they decide to keep Rory on as a companion, and the camera then zooms into the lock of the TARDIS, and we see a foreboding of what's going to happen next week, in fact.
That you do with online versions. With the DVD version, you just drop straight to the credits.
Anyway, Vampires of Venice. I quite enjoyed this particular.
That was fast.
Yeah, no, I quite enjoyed this particular story, to be fair. But I did notice a few things that didn't quite make sense. They've sort of skipped over my head at the moment because, like I said in previous episodes, when the story's quite good, you tend to overlook some discrepancies in the makes sense department, whether it's a fancy TV show, what's it called again, science fiction fancy TV show or not. There are certain elements you think, hang on, well that's just happened then, and you said that couldn't happen, it's just happened, sort of thing, And I know somebody on this show who will be able to verify that, because she would have noticed it. I've given it away who it is now, haven't I? She will have noticed the things that I'm talking about in regards to the not making sense aspect. But I'll tell you what, it's an ensemble cast in regards to the TARDIS crew at the moment, because Amy and Rory and the Doctor have a bit of a chemistry rapport thing going on, and I think that works really, really well. It's a shame they decided to nip it in the bud so blooming quick, but yes, it's a good episode. So, what did you think of it? I'm going to say Ben, but you didn't see it. What did you see it, Ben? No. Okay. What did you think of it then, Kirby?
My attitude towards it has changed through the years. At first, I didn't like it. When it was first broadcast, I sort of liked it when we talked about it 9 years ago. And as I keep watching it, I keep liking it more and more. I used to be bothered by the fact that it was the resolution was climb a tower and flip off a very obvious switch. That drove me crazy for a while, but then it occurred to me it's a science fiction fantasy TV show.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me. What bothers me is they have recent years they've had a tendency of getting the Doctor to climb up great big towers. That's happened quite a lot.
It's actually a lot of fun. I like the references, like the First Doctor library card. And by the way, if you look at it closely, it says 76 Trotter's Lane.
Oh God.
and this isn't the first time that the First Doctor is going to...
Oh, don't worry, that's Ben's aircon. At least I hope it is, otherwise there's just been a great big explosion in Farnborough. Ben, I think you need to start speaking because we can't hear anything.
I'm not saying anything.
I know, but you not saying anything has enhanced the sound from your earthquake machine.
So it does actually make a difference then if I've got it on or
well,
off.
it suddenly became very loud.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll sit here with my button on my
what you could do is mute yourself and put it on, and then put it off when you don't need to mute yourself.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, I don't want I don't want you to suffer on our behalf.
Adam.
Pardon?
I'm on the mute button.
Oh, you're on the mute button, are you? That's all right then. Good. Okay. Carry on then, Kirby.
This isn't the first time we see that particular picture of the First Doctor in this series. We also see it in the Van Gogh episode. I believe at least one other time.
Yes.
And I just love that. I love that they actually pulled back in the First Doctor. However, this morning as I was looking through the little weirdnesses, and this doesn't bother me, but I thought this was interesting. The Vampires of Venice has similarities to School Reunion, written by Toby Woodhouse. The pre-title sequence involves a scene of a girl being attacked by an alien. It's followed by a scene in which the Doctor appears during a common activity and says something rather ordinary. The companion's boyfriend joins in for the adventure and becomes part of the TARDIS crew. Both episodes feature scenes where the two of the main characters discuss the Doctor's effect on relationships. The alien species in both episodes can transform into humans. The leader of the alien race in both episodes proposes an alliance with the Doctor. A minor character disposes of most of the aliens by causing an explosion. The aliens' plan is thwarted by a simple flick of a switch, and both groups of aliens exhibited traits of vampire mythology.
But where was Sarah Jane and all that?
I know. I still love the School Reunion. It's one of my all-time favorites, and I like this one. Okay. This is not a negative story.
So on the live feed we've got Lillian Robin. Hi. Well, congratulations, Lillian. Oh, sorry, you're saying hi. I beg your pardon. Terry Miles says hi, Lillian Robin, and everybody else. Ian Kirk says 29 centigrade, 84 Fahrenheit here. Well, you're up north. It's at least 2 degrees more. Here. It's 30.7 at the moment, so heading for 31. Although outside
25.9 in the air-conditioned room.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to get it ready. I suppose I'd... Oh, hang on, I've got problems. I can't move my window out of the way. Oh, that's in the way now. And now I found the bit I need, and it goes something like this. Mary, I dread to think. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to tell a story,
Uh-oh.
and I've told it before, but I told it 10 years ago, 9 years ago, whenever we looked at this the last time, or when you may have looked at it. This is the episode, for me, the signature episode that brought me into Doctor Who. What did you say?
I said, ooh.
Oh, okay. I had in years past, on our public television station, at odd moments, tuned in to Doctor Who. And my first exposure was the Fourth Doctor. On that space station with the bubble wrap monster, and the whole thing was Ark in Space. Thank you.
I was going to say you might have to narrow it down a little bit more than that.
Yeah, which bubble wrap monster? Then I remember looking at this guy with the curly brown hair, dressed strangely, acting goofy. And this totally unbelievable monster, and I thought, what is this anyway? And I tuned out after a while. I watched most of the story, but tuned out after a while. And then several years later, I happened to catch another episode of Doctor Who on the public channel. This time it was not the dark-haired curly guy. It was a blonde curly guy in a ridiculous outfit, acting goofy. And I thought, so it didn't occur to me that this is like the same character played by different people. I'm just thinking this is like an anthology series. It's just different people. But the one thing that tied them together is that it was just so stupid. It's like, why does anybody watch this? And so I tuned it out again for years until one day I walked in on my teenage daughter who was watching this episode. And I was immediately captivated, and I sat down and I watched it with her. And it wasn't until it was almost over when I said, "What is this show?" And she said, "This is Doctor Who." I said, "What?
There you go.
This is Doctor Who? This is amazing." And so that sent me on the journey, because we had Netflix at that point, of going back to Eccleston and watching all of Eccleston, watching all of Tennant, and up to this episode, and I've been hooked ever since. So it was this episode that pulled me in for the very first time, not even knowing what it was.
So what did you think about it then, Mary?
Well, at the time, like I said, I was captivated, and I really, really enjoyed it. But, of course, time changes how we think about things. And, of course, watching, but I do remember watching this through the first episodes with Amy, and it even hit me this time that Amy is so irritating and unlikable, and she's so mean to Rory that, it's like, ooh, why did he bring this girl along for his trips?
Oh, she's quite nice looking, for starters.
There's probably more reasons he lets her stick around.
Yeah.
She's very irritating, and I have to say that
so's my wife.
Woo, Mrs. Shoveler.
This is why you're stuck in the shed.
Yes, and you'll be in there for a bit longer, I think.
It's my choice, believe me.
And I do have to say that Rory's speech about why Doctor Who is dangerous is, for me, the thing that just really hits home, and for me it's the best speech about how dangerous the Doctor is for all of Doctor Who, because it plays out that way all the time. And one thing that struck me was, how the Doctor likes to climb towers. It's bell towers, clock towers, scaffolding. He's always climbing something to turn off whatever's going on. So that's kind of an old thing. And then I wonder, why didn't the Doctor offer to send the Saturnin? Is that what they were called? Saturnines? Saturnines.
Yeah, get it right, Mary, for God's sake.
Why didn't he just send them to another planet, or at least
why?
But he doesn't. He just kind of, leaves them in
it's a science fiction fantasy TV show.
And all I can think of is, I feel sorry for the Venetians. If anybody falls in the canal, they're in trouble. Overall, aside from those things, and the young vampire telling Mummy, why don't you transform yourself? Well, it occurred to me, well, if we're talking perception filter, once you turn it off, then everybody looks like that. So how is it that Mummy can, just transform herself? So that was something that stuck with me.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was thinking of.
It is one of the things? Okay. Yeah. I don't know what the other thing might be, although probably watching it. There's just so many funny lines, and it moves so quickly. Yes. So many good comedic moments that it's a thin story. It doesn't really do much, but it's just fun to watch, fun to listen to. And so that's what I have to say.
Thank you, Mary.
Yeah, master. Yeah, at the end when Senora, whatever her name is, she takes off clothes that she's not.
Yes, that's the other bit. Yeah, that's the other bit. That was pointless. She's got a perception filter on. Why does she need to take invisible clothes that don't exist off?
Yeah.
Yes.
And why doesn't she turn the perception filter off before she jumps in? So
and just jump in as herself. Yes, that was another thing. Yeah. I'm going to give you a ding for that, Kirby, because that was the main thing that I picked up on it. But like I say, it didn't matter.
You're actually giving yourself a ding because
I'm giving you a ding for picking up on the points that I couldn't remember earlier on.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's those inconsistencies. Transform yourself, Mommy. It's like, oh, wait a minute, that's a perception filter. And yeah, I wondered about that too when she was taking her clothes off. It's like, why are you bothering?
Yes. So thank you very much, Mary. So this enables us to move on to the second part of the show, where Ben, I think, usually has a piece of music that.
He asks you what you think, and it normally goes well. But as he's an American, he'd say,
swell.
So here's what you think. In content it doesn't lack. It's Kirby Bartlett Sloan and his pedantic feedback.
And before you embark, Lillian Robbins says, I think I could cosplay Amy from this story. I've got the boot, skirt, tights and top. Need the jacket and red wig. Over to you, Kirby, while I go and top up on hot weather juice.
Okay. Mr. M says, we never interrupt Mummy when she's hydrating. Vampires in Venice by Toe B. Whithouse. This is a fun story written by a very undervalued new Who writer. The setting is fun, the monsters are camp as anything, and there is great snappy dialogue throughout. The story is completely nuts in that wonderful way only Doctor Who can do. Fish vampires from space running a school in Venice is so ridiculous that I don't really know where it could have come from. Great stuff. Great stuff. The visual effects are quite weak in this episode, though. Perhaps they blew all the budget on the Croatia location filming. Francesco's flimsy fish facade looks very well fishy, especially during the sword fight with Rory. Arthur Darvill is a great addition to the TARDIS team, although Amy is weaker when he is around. Oh, and it's a shame that the story is mostly resolved by the Doctor flicking the turn off the plot switch. The vampire girls are hot, though I do find it a bit
not as hot as me and Adam today.
I do find it a bit confusing as to whether
couldn't shut them their noses in the door. Sorry, I've got problems with the dogs. They've just left the oven for a less hot oven. Right, let's go back.
I do find
Get
it.
in. I think it's because it's cooler out there.
May I continue?
Sorry, no, just the dogs have just gone to cool down for a bit. They'll probably be back in a minute, so carry on.
Though I do find it a bit confusing as to whether or not they are human or fishy. It seems to change depending on what the plot requires. Overall, a decent 8 out of 10. Next time, it's time to go to sleep, Andy.
Excellent.
And I respond to that, I'm going to use that reminder about the sleeping Andy quite a bit for that story.
Well, Star was reminding us about sleeping Andy just a few moments ago.
Yes. The girl, and I also remind him the girls are being turned into fish. It's explained in the story. It doesn't make sense, but it's a science fiction fantasy TV show. I also say I'd rather say program, spelled British way, but Master wants me to say show. And the only other comment is Ian's script. I'm disappointed.
Sorry, Bob. Well, do you want to read out Robert? Wait, do you want to read out Robert Haynes's then? I've got an ice cube in the
Yeah,
cup.
sure. Let me.
Be careful, Master's hydrating.
Nice one.
Okay. Some thoughts on the episode, though, if you want to share that. The special effects are starting to show their age these days. I'm not a big fan of the way Rory is treated in the story. Funny, I'd forgotten that the Doctor was in the cake. The episode's pretty run-of-the-mill, though. Not too bad, but nothing special. It is sad watching this, what with the fairly recent passing of Helen McCrory in April of last year.
Yep. It
kind of makes her last scene quite poignant. Hope to be back for the next story. Keep cool for those of you in the heat.
Brandon Moore says, sorry I'm late. I was just hiding from Casanova. I owe him a chicken. And then Alan T. Butcher says, it's all right, everyone. She said boots. In reference to Lillian. And yeah, right. So thank you very much, Burby. And that moves us on to a little bit of blurb that Mary's going to dictate.
Okay. This is from Linda and Terry Miles. It's Rory's stag night on the day before his marriage. That's a no-no, as any married guys would tell you. Going to the altar with a sore head? No. Why would the Doctor be in a giant fake cake? Oh, I get it. Stripper music and a girl in a bikini outside needing a jumper. Must be a Ledworth thing. Amy kissed the Doctor. Best not to say anything about that, especially the day before their wedding. Oops, he told Rory. I'm amazed he didn't get lynched by the stags. A trip to, in quotes, Venice as a wedding present. Nice. Yes, I know it's not the real Venice, but Croatia. They also used Caerphilly Castle and Castle Cock, which are just north of Cardiff in Wales. Venice, in quotes, is a collection of little wooden huts in the middle of a marsh, end quotes. This is true, but they then built some beautiful buildings on top of them. Now that Amy has changed out of her nightwear into a wide belt, a miniskirt and top, there are ladies walking around Venice in their nighties. There seems to be a theme going here. Nobody in, quotes, Venice says a thing about Amy's short skirt. I suppose this is for the dads, just as in the old Who stories. Rory's speech about the doctor putting people in danger is so true. Yes, definitely, Terry. Nice kick from Amy right in the perception filter. Ugh, a naked fish thing. Ugh. Yeah. They ran from the silence. That's something that might reoccur. The people upstairs are a bit noisy. Most people steal stationery from their employer, not gunpowder. From space have never been so buxom. Note to self, never go up against a sword-wielding vampire using a broom. The sword always wins, unless your wife-to-be has a mirror in her pocket. Hang on, a machine that controls the weather built by aliens? Isn't there one on the moon base that the Cybermen attacked?
No, Ben built that one.
I think Toby Whithouse nicked that machine off of Kit Pedler. How come Rosanna is able to peel off her outer clothing when it damages her perception filter, where her clothes are all part of the perception field? She even took off the perception filter attached to her clothes and stayed human.
Hang on, I got an answer, Mary.
What?
Maybe the clothes were perceived.
Oh. Ah, yes. It's a science fiction fantasy television show. Sorry, forgot. Next up, now it's time for a sleep. Or is it reality? Stay safe and well, everybody. Linda and Terry Miles.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Linda and Terry Miles. Sorry, I got distracted because Garton just got a really good wicket after just nearly getting a really good wicket at the early stage of the Oval Invincibles.
No, do you know, Adam, the only person who cares about what you're talking about is me, and I'm watching it.
Wasn't Wicked an Ewok?
Good one, Ben.
Yes, I know.
Hello, 20 Megabyte Podcasters in Kirk.
Hello, Ian.
The Vampires of Venice by Toby Whithouse. Tell me the whole plan. One day that is going to work. A diabetic girl jumps out of a fake cake. She would not be allowed to eat real cake. There's a bit of foreshadowing when it turns out Guido has taken home a load of gunpowder from his previous job. He is wearing Rory's red photo t-shirt when he blew himself up to kill the vampires. He had only one daughter, Isabella.
Hey.
He was keen to enroll her in the school, even though there was something fishy about it. When the Doctor and Amy are so excited at having seen vampires, it is like when Doctor and Rose are excited at having seen a werewolf. Tennant is also referenced as Casanova.
Yes.
Rory tries holding two candlesticks in the shape of a cross. Rory is upset about the Doctor kissing Amy, shortly before Francisco chains her up and bites her. More foreshadowing when Francisco warns his mother not to get too close to the canal with her disguise turned on. The sonic screwdriver has a dermal regeneration function.
Yes,
just in this episode.
Yes, just in this episode.
The TARDIS Wiki has a list of 8 similarities between this and School Reunion, also a Toby Whithouse story. Shame about Bernard Cribbins.
Yes.
Bye for now.
That's something we may talk about very shortly. But thank you for the reminder, Ian. Right, so we got this, so we're going to settle down and with a cup of coffee, maybe a glass of Chardonnay.
Well, good evening, 20 Megabytes. Andy Min here, just running it back. It's Sunday evening, so yes, that time of year. And yesterday I did my usual, and with some on and off attention from Stormageddon, watched Vampires of Venice. Venice, of course, as everybody knows, a place that has fewer canals than Birmingham. Interesting story. It's a little far-fetched at times, but then of course it is a science fiction, fantasy-based TV program. Or
Fantasy-based?
Get that right for me. But I did enjoy it. You rock along. It brought in a new alien species, and very interesting that they are not quite shapeshifters, but they use perception filter, which I think is quite a clever way of doing things, except when it goes wrong. You do wonder with Carlo, wasn't it? He's plotted it, and did he not sort of twig these people aren't actually who they say they are? I mean, the fact that they're vampires anyway must have surely worried him. Perhaps it's all the, I don't know, what the lira whether he got paid or whatever he got paid, whatever currency Venetians use. Perhaps that sort of, closed his mind to it, these things do happen. But it's interesting, you only really found out at the end why they were doing what they were doing, and they were trying to preserve a race, and in a way, you can understand that, can't you? They're fighting for their lives, and you think they only wanted one city. Well, at least that's what their leader said. Interesting watching Helen McCrawley and not every other word. Let's try again. Every other word not being F and not smoking her head off, as she did in the wonderful Peaky Blinders. Another programme set in Birmingham, of course. We get everywhere, don't we? But it's. And then she accused the doctor that, are you prepared to watch another race die? I mean, this was more than just a story. This is, introduced the concept of the silence, didn't it? People started thinking, what is the silence? We're going to start thinking there's clues here. And I think this was really Moffat at his best, because he was putting a sort of story that could stand alone quite happily, but giving it a bigger context, a wider context. There were clues that come along, in further stories you get more and more, and then you start to pick things up, and you start to learn more about, what's happened in the Time War. And notice when the Doctor was challenged, he couldn't answer, could he? Because there's a man with so much blood on his hands. It's unbelievable, isn't it, really? Story itself, vampire girls who got blown up by somebody's dad. Were they the only ones? Were they really? Is that all there were? Then her son getting killed as well. I was wondering if there might be some sort of empathic or telepathic link that she would know that her son had died, and she was the last of the ones. And then she went and fell in the water. Presumably, she got killed by the 10,000 husbands. So what happened to them? There were things that just didn't quite add up, really. A lot of plot holes in it, that being one of them. But all in all, it's an enjoyable story. It's really interesting the way Rory got brought back, and he's going to get pushed off to one side, and the Doctor's going to go off with Amy. But then I think he's realising, well, I think I'm being a bit of divvy here, aren't I? And actually, despite what Amy had been doing in the previous story, she's been virtually throwing herself at the Doctor, I think she's realised that it ain't going to happen, is it? One just wonder, when the Doctor changed his body and they changed sex or gender or whatever you want to call it, and what goes on sort of below the belt, shall we say? I wonder. Anyway, enough of that. When she turns to shoot, presumably things are going to change again. Of course, there's going to be a certain young lady and have a rather nasty surprise, isn't she? Assuming, of course, she's still around for that. However, this story moved the 11th Doctor on, gave us more clues, as I said, gave us more mystery, and I think that's it. And the Doctor, Matt, is really settling into the role of the Doctor here. He's playing it, there are times of sheer lunacy, but there are times he's deep and dark and mysterious. I think that is the best way of doing it. So there you go. And that was that. Be seeing you. Bye.
I have to agree with the last 15 seconds of what Andy was saying there about the way Matt Smith portrays the Doctor. Like it. Well done, Andy, and well done.
What did he say? I was falling asleep.
For staying awake. Okay.
Wait, Master. What did he say? I was falling asleep.
Oh, I pressed a button. That's your fault, Kirby, because the way you talked to me then, my finger strayed onto the wrong button.
I was standing around trying to find somewhere to sit. Then I realised it was time for Ben's bit.
Which is essentially him doing Alan T. Butcher's feedback. Why's it gone quiet? Have I said something wrong with my order?
No, I was just turning the air conditioner off to be professional. to be professional.
You're telling the air conditioner off because it's naughty.
Well, yeah, and it's been on for an hour and 10 minutes, and it's now 23 degrees in here, so it's nice and cool. So I should probably turn it off for this little bit. Now, before I start this bit, I must point out that there are words in here that I don't know. Many of them. But let's go for it. Oh, look, I haven't got my glasses on. Oh, now I can see. I still don't know that first word. What's that? Piscatorial.
That's the one.
Piscatorial Venetian Aikido. Just, I mean, make it easy to start with. Or listen through Amy's crack to the end of this thing. I should be so lucky. Dear 20 megabyters, The Vampires of Venice is, of course, a closely studied examination of the power networks of the early Renaissance European city-states, taking Venice as an example. Control was tightly exerted by a ruling aristocratic elite, and while superficially advanced circumstance were apparent in such places, there was little contact nor regard for the circumstances of life beyond the precincts of such environs. Here we see this at its worst, with trumped-up caution about disease used to protect the initial culture and marked power differential that has been established. Kirby, I need you. It should be noted that whilst...
Wrong, some might say.
Still sounds better, that bit. That this episode, that the episode title here is a bit fishy, as these are aliens and neither classical vampires nor Doctor Who universe giant vampires, but in fact Doctor Who is a
science fiction fantasy TV program.
And there are plenty of similarities to justify the reference. Biting, sucking, dressing young women in attractive long dresses, and of course, given the illusionary cloaks they are disguised in, they probably cast no shadow. You can't beat me, Auntie Butcher. You can't beat me. We also, well, you did a couple of weeks ago, actually. No, you didn't. We also learned that Rosanna Calveri, who I think signed for Southampton yesterday, did in fact survive her lively bath at the end of this story and went on to relocate to England, marrying into the prominent wizarding family, the Malfoys, and had another, but only slightly less irredeemable son. Is that Draco? Draco. Yes, I've never watched or read any Harry Potter.
Draco.
I've got no idea. All in all, The Vampires of Venice is a lively pseudo-historical adventure, well produced and briskly paced. Helen McCrory provides a very credible central menace, and Rory, becoming part of the TARDIS crew, marks the completion of an exceptionally well-crafted assembly of regular cast. Matt Smith once again delivers a natural and extraordinary performance, and we also get a bit of red meat fan service without over-egging it. Seeing the first Doctor's library card... Oh, sorry, I should have carried on there, but there was a comma I hadn't... I'm so unused to there being the right punctuation. I only put my own...
He's had 3 weeks to insert the punctuation.
Yes. Red meat service without over-egging it, seeing the first Doctor's library card. The showrunner goes from strength to strength in this golden age of Doctor Who, even with a relatively traditional and pedestrian story like this. The story is perhaps about a quarter of an hour too short, as who would not like to have seen more of Amy and the other girls running around in those dresses? Next up, Doctor Who and the Attack of the Octogenarians, or the Gallifreyan Lord of Dreams, the brain of Morpheus. Those are my thoughts. The Counsellor, Alan T. Butcher, give us a pork chop.
Yes, I haven't got tinnitus, or you haven't got tinnitus, listeners. It's just that I have 2 fans going. If you hear a buzzing in the background, it's too hot to...
I do have tinnitus.
Imagine people listening to this in January thinking, what the hell?
At that frequency, I can't hear them, so it's all right. I don't mind. You crack on, son.
Esther,
Yeah.
there have been 3 more comments on the feedback. Unfortunately, 2 of them are me.
Oh, my God.
Ian says...
I can see it. Oh, you mean on the normal feedback or on the comment feed from the live feedback?
What about the live
feedback? No, I'm reading
feedback?
about the feedback I posted.
Oh, go on then.
Ian Kirk, in response to his transcript, says, she did not jump out of the cake. I messed up my script when I was recording.
Oh.
He
I'm
didn't
sorry,
watch the
but
episode, did he? So it's going to be a...
2 weeks, isn't it?
I respond also to him. Signora Calvieri bites Amy, not Francesco.
Isn't that an Italian dish?
Whatever.
No, it's an
I mean,
Italian striker. It's time to
he
tell
said that
Hey.
he said Francesco bit Amy, and it wasn't. It was Signora Calvieri. And also, he mentioned the TARDIS Wikia has a list of 8 similarities between this and School Reunion. I mentioned those in my commentary, and you heard them in all their pedantic craziness.
Well, there you go. Well, that's very kind of you, Kirby, for filling
Are
that.
we running out of time so we don't have to do the quiz?
Shut up a
Oh,
minute.
yeah.
Can you let me continue, please?
When did you not like
I forgot what I was
quizzes?
going to say.
This quiz I don't like.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, maybe it doesn't like you.
Right, Alan T. Butcher says, so Adam is claiming to have 2 fans now. Well, I did have 6,000 fans on TikTok until I got TikTok until I got banned. So TikTok, I know you don't watch this, so that is for you. That obviously is an
I
audio
don't
presentation,
understand.
so I haven't offended anybody on the audio presentation. However, I have started up a new account because I don't do TikTok for followers. I do it for fun. Anyway,
Master.
yes.
It looked like you got all of your TikToks back, or you just simply reposted
I'm
them?
reposting the best ones and some
Because
new ones,
the
and some ones I haven't
dates on
posted before because I forgot. Yes.
The dates seem to be the same dates that you originally posted them.
Well, it's likely to be the case. I don't care. It's probably
That-
done on the
it's-
file,
it's
the date the
strange.
file was created. Can I continue? Right then, Mr. Benjamin Arthur Shoveler has a little bit of the show that he likes to perform, and
Is
he's
it-
just
hold
about
on.
to do it.
I haven't done my grid yet, my score charts.
Okay, well,
Who's playing
can I?
today?
I'll go on to the obituaries, shall I? 'Cause there's been
If you'd
quite
like
a
to,
lot.
Yeah. I'll go on then. I'm kind of ready
There's
now.
been
but,
quite a lot of obituaries. We're going to start with Nichelle Nichols, and not in order. Nichelle Nichols, who Kirby won't know this. She played Lieutenant Uhura, the original one, in Star Trek,
Master,
the original
I
series.
met her.
Oh, here we go.
She was
Nichelle
very,
Nichols.
very short.
Okay, well, I'm sure she couldn't help it. It's probably something to do with genetics or something. I don't know.
I met
It was
her.
probably to do with little legs, actually.
I met her at the same time I met Hugh Downs.
Eh?
Hugh
Met who?
Downs. He used to be an American news guy.
Okay.
What did
was
he start
the,
doing weather?
I thought he was a game
He
show.
was a game show host too, but then he went on and was doing something that I don't remember what it was. It was similar to the Sunday mornings shows, a entertainment news show.
Okay. Anyway, thank you for that. Olivia Newton-John, who you may have noticed, was one of my first crushes when I was a teenager. She's the only celebrity I actually created a scrapbook for. Any picture of Olivia Newton-John that appeared in the media around about 1978-79 went into my scrapbook. She was absolutely beautiful, incredibly talented, total icon, obviously because of Grease and that. And
Yeah, and I don't. What has been forgotten a lot about Olivia Newton-John.
she was in Xanadu.
Well, not just that. Is the fact that she sold millions and millions of records. She wasn't just Sandy from Greece. She was so much more.
Yeah.
And the battle that she's fought for the last 30 years as well is admirable, and her charity foundation is fantastic. And she's a huge loss. And she was brilliant. So sad loss of Olivia
Oh
Newton-John.
God, yes. I mean, there's been quite a lot of recent passings, and it seems you don't know what's coming up next. You think they come in threes, but this week or this last 3 weeks or so has been like fours or fives. No.
Well, you had Judith Durham as well, who was the lead singer of the Searchers or the Seekers. I always get them mixed up. But she was my mum's favourite singer, and so that was really sad. And who else went this week?
Roger E. Mosley.
Who?
Roger E. Mosley, who played a helicopter pilot in Theodore T.C. Calvin in the hit show Magnum P.I. He's a very iconic American actor, very recognisable. He said about Judith Durham. Pat Carroll, Nichelle Nichols, Mary Alice, Paul Savino, David Warner was the next one, because of course David Warner.
Oh, yeah.
What, the
he's-
Australian cricketer? No way, not after Warner.
He spanned virtually every franchise on the planet, and I was so delighted when he made it finally into Doctor Who in Cold War.
Yes.
And he was supposed to be a guest at one of the cancelled Comic-Cons that I was going to, and I had lined up a photo with him. So that's happened quite a lot recently. Very sad that people I'm lining up photo shoots with are passing away. So that seems to be a bit of a theme in my life, i.e. John Pertwee. So yes, it's happened a lot. James Caan's another example of a recent passing. Obviously, a few weeks ago, we never mentioned him. He's never been in Doctor Who, but that's a big name. Ray Liotta, he's in a current show on Apple TV.
Oh God, yeah, Ray Liotta's gone recently, isn't he? Yeah.
So these people do deserve a mention on this show, because we do talk about things that aren't necessarily Doctor Who. But he did some fab adverts on UK TV, didn't he, Ben?
What, Ray Liotta?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, there's nothing finer than Goodfellas.
No, but it's just he was probably the best
Casino,
tough actor, wasn't he? The best tough actor I've seen on anything.
Just
Did you
Goodfellas.
mention Bernard Cribbins?
I'm getting there.
No, clearly that's going to be the gold medal presentation.
And finally, our favourite senior actor in Doctor Who, and it is, don't care what you say, Kirby, he is, because he came into the show as a senior actor.
He was
Bernard
wonderful.
Cribbins. We loved him. We always gushed whenever we did an episode that he was in, and always said how wonderful he was. And he lit up the screen. He was just a wonderful actor. In my childhood, he was the voice of the Wombles, or the narrator
Uncle
for the Wombles.
Bulgaria.
Yeah.
Tobermore.
He was in one of my favourite Fawlty Towers episodes, the Hotel Inspector.
Yeah.
But he's got better with age.
Yeah, and of course he was in Carry On films, Doctor Who movies.
Doctor Who, yes.
Oh God, and I was going to meet him again. He was supposed to be at one of the London Comic Cons this year, and that didn't happen. So yeah.
Well, at least he's going to be in. I'm not sure. Is he going to be in the BBC Centennial show or the 60th anniversary?
Well, he was in one of them because he was filmed in a wheelchair being pushed down the street, wasn't he? So he's going to be. There's one more performance from him.
That's
nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that a lot of us are going to be surprised. We were thinking some of this filming was for the 60th, and it was actually for the Centennial.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. They've filmed like all the. Well, then the next two episodes, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
So yeah, they're filming back to back, haven't they? So, but no, I think Bernard Cribbins again was. As I said, I think he got better with age. He was brilliant when he was younger. Did some great stuff coming through the 60s, 70s, 80s. As Adam said, the voice of the Wombles, which is just one of those programs that, being British and the age that we are, we grew up with, and he was the voice of that. And then to see him 25 years later pop up as Wilfred Mott, and such a lovable
and steal every
wonderful
scene he was
character.
in with consummate ease as well.
Every single time he was on screen, he stole it. He sparkled. He had the showbiz. It was brilliant, and he died when I was on holiday, and it ruined my holiday. Apart from the boat trip I went on, which I didn't want to go on because I don't like boats, and I spent 3 hours with my head on a table. But that's a different story. But I wasn't crying about Bernard Cribbins, but I could have been, because it was that was very, very sad, and rest in peace, good man. He was a really good man.
Absolutely, well said, Ben.
Wait. I wanted to point out something, Mary. Mary, Hugh Downs was the host of 2020 on ABC for 21 years.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So that's what he was doing at the time that I met him, because he came to this thing called the Space Development Conference, the very first Space Development Conference, which I was helping in the green room, and that's how I met Hugh Downs and Nichelle Nichols.
Okay.
Thank you. What's his name again? Kirby, isn't it? Yeah. So
in more interesting news, I'm ready.
Okay. Just to sort of dance over a few other people who have passed recently, you may not be aware of. Mickey Rooney Jr. Has passed away. Monty Norman. These are all from this year. James Caan, of course, another legend. And what else?
Dropping like flies.
Yeah. George Shapiro. No, I haven't heard of him, but I'm sure you lot have. Of course, I mentioned Ray Liotta.
I do need to just object to the fact that we seem to be doing the most happy time of the week slot just before my quiz.
Well, yeah, it's just quite. You sort of bring the theme, the sort of bring it down a little bit, then build it up, don't you?
I see what you're doing. That's very clever, then, Adam. Actually, it's good.
They do that in dramas. They put in these very heavily emotional scenes, and then sort of douse everybody with a bit of comedy.
We're gonna cut
which
the
is what
quiz
you're
off
about to. Pardon?
Right in the middle, because we only have 4 minutes left in the hour.
Oh, shut up, you.
I make it 2 minutes left, but we started late.
Of course, we lost June Brown, a Doctor Who legend, didn't we, earlier on in the year?
I think she might have been known for something else.
William Hurt. Some of these people I hadn't even realised had passed away. So, while I'm carrying on looking down the list, I think it's probably a good time.
Olivia Newton-John?
Nearly.
Yes, you did.
Sorry?
You mentioned Olivia Newton-John.
That was ages ago.
A lot.
Okay, fine.
Well, did you want to say something about the wonderful Olivia Newton-John?
At the time.
Did you want to mention something about Olivia Newton-John?
No.
She was very good friends with Cliff Richard.
Have you mentioned the girl that played Sandy in Grease?
Country roads take me home to the place where I belong. That was one of hers, wasn't
it? I've never seen Grease.
It was John Denver, really.
Didn't she sing it, though?
Well, yeah, but John Denver sang it first.
Yeah, but she did a better
and
version.
wrote it.
Over to Ben!
I was just having a swig of... Oh.
And now,
here we are.
Live from the Indie Rock Disco Radio Studio 1, the game show nobody's talking about. This is How Aged Are They?
How aged are they?
Don't know.
How aged are they?
Don't care.
How aged are they? That's what the game's about.
What game?
How aged are they?
What?
How aged are they?
No.
How aged are they? Get ready to find out.
It's your host, Ben Shabalala.
You're right, Chuck. How you doing? Welcome to another fantastic edition of How Aged Are They? I'm your host. Yes, I am. And we're going to do a game where you guess stuff. There's rules. We'll stick to them. There's contestants. All right, Chucks. Let's play. How aged are they? Round 1 this week. I'll give you an actress or an actor who's been in Doctor Who and their birthday. You've got to tell me how old they are, if they're still alive. If they were still alive but they're now dead, then you have to tell me how they would be. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Don't care. Round 1. Frances Meredith Carroll. Frances Meredith Carroll. Any ideas?
No.
I have no idea.
Also known as Kate O'Mara.
Oh.
Kate O'Mara, boys and girls, who of course played the Rani in The Mark of the Rani, Time and the Rani, and Dimensions in
The
Time
Rani of the Rani.
She was born on the 10th of August. Unfortunately, she died in 2014. But if she were alive today, how aged is Kate O'Mara? We'll start with Adam. Adam, how aged is Kate O'Mara? Or would she be if she was alive, which she isn't?
95.
Kirby.
90.
And Mary.
97.
97.
Yes.
Round 2. Oh, it's the one we all know. It's Eve Miles, who played Gwyneth in The Quiet Dead, and Gwen Cooper in Torchwood. She was born on the 26th of July. But how aged is Eve Miles? Kirby.
45.
Mary.
42.
And Adam.
That's the answer.
Eve Miles, how old? 47.
And finally, round 3 is John Challis, who of course played Boycie in Only Fools and Horses, and Scorby in The Seeds of Doom. His birthday is going to be in 2 days' time on the 16th of August. But how aged is John Challis, a.k.a. Boycie? Mary.
95.
95. Adam.
82.
And Kirby.
80.
And that concludes round 1 of today's How Aged Are They?
Round 1?
What?
Did you say that concludes round 1?
Well, part 1. All right.
Is there another part?
Well, yeah, when we do the results.
Oh.
Part 2.
You actually did that Thanks
for
dear.
listening for the last couple of weeks, Adam. That's good.
Sorry, I just had me worried for a moment there.
I'll pick it up. We'll find it in the edit. It's no problem at all. In 3, 2, 1. That's the end of part 1 of How Aged Are They? We'll give back to Adam Pearson now, who will do some talking, and then we'll be back for the more important results very shortly on How Aged Are They? Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for playing. Here's Adam.
Yes. Right then, Kirby, are you keeping track of the online comments via the live feed?
What? Go on.
Kirby?
Huh?
Are you keeping track of the comments via the live feed? Because there's one for you to read out. There's one for you to read out from Billy Kirkbright.
Billy Kirkbright.
Okay, let me figure out where they are, because I don't.
Well, they would
watch
be in the live comment feed via the video that I'm currently streaming on the internet.
Okay, you mean the one, insomnia is my potion tonight this morning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you do it in Billy Kirkbright's voice, please?
No.
Come on, then.
Go on.
Insomnia is my potion.
No, that's your voice, in his voice.
No, I can't. I have no idea how he would say insomnia.
Just give it a go.
Say Accrington. If you say Accrington.
Okay, no, all right, okay, but I'll give you a rest. I'll give you a... Mary, can you see what Billy wrote?
Let me look.
Can you not?
This is in the live comments?
Yes. I've got a funny feeling you're going to do a much better job than Kirby did.
I do too.
No.
You can't see it, right down the bottom of the thing.
Okay. All comments.
Yeah, right down the bottom, above.
Insomnia
in
is
between.
My potion tonight, this morning.
Oh yeah, you can just say it from what Kirby said. So
No, I'm clicking on comments and I just keep getting the same.
Well, we're going to tell you what he says, so you can say it back in the style of Billy Kirkbright. Insomnia is my potion tonight. Stroke this morning.
Who's this morning, and why would he stroke her?
Are you digesting those lines, Mary?
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the comments.
No.
Say that.
Can you not see it?
No.
This is slick.
No. I mean, this is going to get seriously nominated for many podcasts.
Forget about it.
No, I'm going to send what he said via the normal means. There you go, Mary.
Oh, here it is. Insomnia is my
potion. But in Billy's voice.
In Billy's voice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Insomnia is my potion. I can't do Australian.
You can do darling.
Can't do Australian. Oh, brilliant. Right.
His accent isn't Australian.
Don't be pedantic, Kirby. Right.
Accrington, Australia, they're both close together.
Lillian Robbins says the game show Ben's talking about. I think that was in reference to what no, never mind. So before we move on,
in reference to his little theme song.
Yeah. Before we move on, I'm just checking there's anything that come through on the news feed. Free Doctor Who events in Liverpool. We already did that. There's not much happened in the last couple of weeks apart from the passing of David Warner and Bernard Cribbin.
Why didn't we have more feedback then?
More feedback? No.
We needed more feedback. We had so little.
Are you ready with the results?
Yeah, they're all ready. They've been ready for at least 7 seconds.
And I have a guess, and I'm ready to hit enter.
Oh, here we go. Go on then, Ben.
Here we are. Let's go for part 2. And welcome back to How Aged Are They? Part 2, not round 2. I don't want to get picked up by any pedantic people. In this round, we'll have a look at the actors and actresses and find out how old they actually are, give points out, and then we'll have a winner, and then we'll move on with our lives. Round 1 was Kate O'Mara, who was born on the 10th of August. But what year? That year was 1939. That would have made her 83 years old. However, Mary said she was 97. No, Mary, that's 14 points. Kirby said that she was 90. Kirby, 7 points for you. And Adam, you said 95, so 12 points
Yeah.
to your score. Round 2 was Eve Miles. She was born on the 26th of July 1978. That made her 44 years old. Adam said she was 47. Not going to be on her Christmas card list, and 3 points for Adam. In second
considering
place,
she's
Mary,
dead, it's probably obvious I'm not going to be on her Christmas card list.
Mary said she was 42. Oh, Mary.
Which
Christmas.
is the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
No, it's the answer to nothing. And so Mary gets 2 points, and Kirby said she was 45, so Kirby gets 1 point. Round 3 was John. Thank you, John Chalice. So hold on. Kirby gets 1 point.
Hang on, how many points did I get for the Eve Miles question?
You got 3.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Because you said 47. Yes, but Kirby got 1, so that's better
Well, he
in the way
cheated.
the game works. And round 3 was John Chalice, born on the 16th of August, 1942, making him 79 years old. Mary, bit of a Man United this round, I'm afraid. You said he was 95. That's another 16 points. If only Man United could get 16 points, they won't have
No
another
chance.
World Cup. Adam, you said that he was 82. That's 3 points for you. And Kirby, you said he was 80. That's only 1 year out. One point
what
for
a
Kirby,
surprise.
which means the final results of today's quiz are as follows. Mary, third place, 32 points. Adam, second place, 18 points. And first place goes yet again to the man who hates this quiz, Kirby Butler Sloan, with 9 points.
Boo.
I was poised to say Mary. Now I'm going to have to change this entry.
How? Oh, for God, right.
I mean, seriously, yeah, that's the wrong one to go for today. Hold on a minute, we've run out of music. So that's the end of How Aged Are They for today. Thank you very much for listening, watching, taking part, playing, and sending all your
stop
texts and
nicking
emails.
my
We do
catchphrases.
love getting your tweets. We respond to every single one of them. And don't forget, if you want to send us an Instagram, you can do that too, to howagedare.they. We'll see you next week for another How Aged Are They?
Are you serious? You have an Instagram?
Shut up, Kirby. Right then,
Over
whowon.co.uk
the socials,
have
Kirby.
some stuff available to order on the pre-order. Such as Abominable Snowmen,
This is whowon.co.uk.
which was a DVD animation of the famous story of which we have one episode that doesn't require animating. It's Classic Doctors New Monsters 3, which is a CD. Dead Plates by David Llewellyn, a Torchwood story which doesn't count because John Barrowman isn't in it. Out of Time 3, featuring the 6th Doctor. Hang on, I'm going to click on the picture because I can't see who's really... Oh, the 6th Doctor, the 10th Doctor, and a Weeping Angel on the cover. That sounds quite intriguing, doesn't it, Mary?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Restricted items, archive entries 031 to 049. Another thing that we're not going to talk about because it doesn't feature John Barron. However, it does feature somebody who's going to be at FantasyCon, or has agreed to be at FantasyCon. Gareth David Lloyd as Yanto
Yay.
Jones. Second Doctor Beyond the War Games. This is obviously implying that the Doctor survived the War Games and didn't regenerate until a bit later. That's intriguing in itself. These aren't available yet. They're available in pre-order from whowon.co.uk. And
it
Sixth Doctor
whowon.co.uk?
Purity Undreamed, which features it's the 6th Doctor and some aged former companions, I presume. I don't know. One of them looks a little bit like Romana. I can't really see from here. Unit Brave New World 1, Seabird 1, which, surprise, surprise, is a unit story featuring Brigadier Bambera and War Master. Actually, I would say that as far as Brigadiers go on Doctor Who, I think that Brigadier Bambera, having only been in one story, is still one of the more iconic Brigadiers that weren't Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart.
Yes.
And War Master 7 Self-Defense, which is also that. But stuff that you can get now, it's getting more and more exciting. Why have I got nothing coming up? Well, this is odd, because when I clicked on it before, it was already there. Anyway, Resurrection Plant, which is a Second Doctor story, read by Fraser Hines, friend of the show. So there we go. That's what's available to purchase on the Doctor Who theme via the famous Who Won Limited store via whowon.co.uk. They also do torture.
whowon.co.uk.
You can also get Tortured, Sarah Jane Adventures, Bernice Summerfield, Blake Seven, and other series, and figures, toys, and gifts. Lavazi.co.uk. It's coming up to Christmas, everybody, because we have to talk about it, because we're coming towards the end of August. So that, of course, means that
it's nearly Christmas.
4 months to go to Crimbo. And, of course, if you're listening to this show...
I took some pictures in a grocery store parking lot a few days ago of some pumpkins. It's almost Halloween.
Okay. So anyway, if you want to buy your loved one a Halloween present, go to whowon.co.uk and get something a bit sort of special, because you can't get them anywhere else, like Fourth Doctor scarves and winter hats. That'd be good this time of year, wouldn't it?
I have a Fourth Doctor scarf.
Have you?
Yes.
Yeah, didn't have to pay anything for it though, did you? And of course, if you want to join their blog, their mailing list, you can read their blog and fan fiction, stuff like that. Seventh Doctor, Paisley scarves and whatnot. Look at their website. Lavazi.co.uk. I've done it. I actually did the sponsors. I can't believe it. I'm such a good presenter of said show. And nobody posted anything further on the live feed. I think they've all left anyway, because I can't see that anybody is actually watching at the moment. So I can do some rude gestures without anybody even knowing. Right then. So, where are we? Oh yes, we're going to go on to what we watched this week. Right then. For me, it's not even this week. It's the last 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah, last 3 weeks.
What?
The last 3 weeks.
Yeah. The thing that stopped me from doing the show before, and I did promise you in ahead, I said if England got to the final of the Women's Euros, I would be watching it, and I'm so glad I did, because they won, and won in style, with a very iconic goal. Commentary-wise, was a bit dodgy, but I don't care, they won. It was me and Deb thoroughly enjoyed sitting down and watching a football match that looked like the team we were supporting were going to do quite well, because normally when we're watching Southampton, the complete opposite happens. So we have to take pleasure in watching other teams that should be doing better not doing so good. Of course, there was the Commonwealth Games, which I didn't really get into until the badminton started. That was quite good fun. There was I watched a film today with Adam Sandler in it, where he plays he's a basketball coach. That was really quite good on Netflix.
I've seen that. Is it worth watching?
Yeah, really good. There's more drama than comedy, but he does drop in a few typical Adam Sandler comedy lines as part of his character, which is essentially Adam Sandler. But it's very good. Lots of
kind of play himself, doesn't he?
Sort of, yeah, but he's very good, and also the cameos from the famous basketball stars, because I don't know who they are until the end, that they sort of say who they are, and I didn't sort of think, he can't act. It was really good. No, honestly, I thoroughly recommend that. It's really good.
Hustle.
Yeah, it's a good film. And I knew it was going to be good, because when Isabella told us it was good, because she seems to watch absolutely everything. Of course, continuing to watch the fabulous and never getting worse, but is totally brilliant, Orville. I don't know how they managed to maintain this standard of story, because I haven't watched all of them, but I watched the last 7 episodes. Brilliant story on Disney Plus. Still a little bit behind on Star Trek Strange New Worlds and Picard and Discovery, but at least that's something I can watch later in the day. And had I watched Thor by the last time I spoke to you?
Did you watch what?
The Thor film. I must have done, because I went to Comic-Con.
The latest Thor film, is it on streaming yet?
Yeah, probably. Probably on
once it's on streaming, I'll watch it, because I love Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, it's not quite as good as that, but it's still quite good. Right then, so I can't think of anything else. I haven't really, because I've been so busy editing. Of course, I watch my crime documentaries and stuff like that. They're really good on Disney, on Discovery Plus. There's a new series of Faking It, which is a really good series. So yes, hopefully this next couple of weeks I'll be able to watch a few bits and bobs, because I'm off work for 2 weeks. So I certainly plan to go to the cinema and watch some stuff that we haven't been able to watch yet, like the Minions film and that new DC Super Pets film and the other bits and bobs that are available to watch in the cinema. So what did you watch this week then, Ben, apart from the sport and everything?
Well, not a lot, really. I mean, in the 3 weeks since we've convened, I went on holiday the day after, and therefore didn't watch.
How was
anything.
Scarborough?
Oh, we went to Gran Canaria. It was it's just the most brilliant place, and I'm still kind of there. We got back longer ago than we went. No, longer ago than we were there for, and I don't know, just can't. I've got complete holiday blues still. I can't get back into life.
That's what we're here for.
And I start my new job tomorrow as well.
Oh,
which is
Ben, that's really exciting.
Yay!
Yeah, you nervous?
It should be, but I still want to be on an island. So
You know, I did those rude
not
gestures just a minute ago. I've just had a comment coming through from Lily and said, "I'm watching," and Terry Miles said, "Thank you, Adam Pearson." Sorry. Well, it doesn't say anybody's what. Oh, yes, it does. Sorry, I looked at the wrong bit. It says 3.
But the two
interesting. But more people presenting the show than actually watching it. Carry on, Ben.
That's always the case, though. Well, on the way there, on the plane, I watched a documentary on Sir Alex Ferguson called Never Give In.
Oh, that's good. I've watched that.
It is fantastic.
Is that the one that
I
Garrett
also
Cantona
watched-
presents?
No, it's the one his son presents.
That's another really good one.
Jason. I watched I finally got around to watching the final episode of Obi-Wan and was quite content with the ending.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes, it was. There's got to be another series of that. It was
hope so.
fantastic. I have watched with the wife in the evenings, and I can't remember the name of it, and I've just had a quick look on Netflix and I can't find it. But it's cool. It's some sort of barbecue show where there was 8 episodes, and a Midwestern white woman won the competition. There's spoilers for you. But it was actually really good, and because when we were on holiday, we found a fantastic meat barbecue type restaurant. And since then I've been eating lots of barbecued meat. I had some lovely ribs this evening, thank you for asking. So yeah, we watched that.
What did you have this evening?
I had some ribs, thank you very much for asking. Oh, hold on, deja vu. When we were on holiday, we also watched the Euros final for the ladies, which was fantastic because I was with my 16-year-old niece who's really into women's football, and so for her to see England win something so early on in her football watching career was fantastic. It was lovely seeing. But as I've stated many a time before, football hasn't come home yet.
There's horrible fly in there. Where's my fly swatter gone?
We'll have to wait until November for another failure in that. Anyway, and since we've got home from holiday, all I've watched is the 100 cricket tournament. Which is rather fantastic. I don't know. I think Adam was letting off some sort of fly swatter. Which is just brilliant. So love the cricket, and that's all from me.
Jeez. Oh, that went in my bloody water.
Oh no.
I think I got it.
What were you doing?
There's a horrible fly in here. I don't want to fly in my bloody orifice. Ew. Oh, you said about watching the what's that thing? Oh, you said Obi-Wan. I did watch a series called Ms. Marvel, which was quite good fun, and got a very exciting end bit leading into another series that Disney and Marvel are going to be doing in the near future. And I'm in the middle of watching a series called X Pistol, which I think is quite good fun too, and a bit rude and, you know, in some areas, but it was the Sex Pistols, and it sort of made me download a few Sex Pistols songs for my my playlist.
I should point out that I watched the Euros final in the biggest sports bar on Gran Canaria.
Now, was that good fun?
With about 200 other people, and it was mental when we scored.
Did you have the British commentary on it though?
Oh yeah.
So it was that woman going, is it? And then a long pause. Really long pause.
Yeah.
And she was looking down the list of players to find her name. Chloe Kelly!
Yeah, I won't do much commentating on the commentating. Leave it there.
Right, so thank you very much, Ben. Right then, so that leads us to Mr. Shovelabone. I mean, so that's you're getting the names mixed up there. Chloe Blown, Kirby, who played, or her namesake played in that England team, and was an assist for. Yeah.
So everyone wants to know where I am with Stranger Things.
Oh, I love Stranger Things.
I am on the next to last episode.
Well, of the most recent series
of season 4. Yes.
The movie length episodes.
Yeah, and that the main reason I haven't finished yet is because apparently the last 2 episodes are so darn long.
Yes, they're movie-length episodes. They've only just laying the foundations for the final series. Actually,
Yeah,
so it's
I am finding it. I just love Stranger Things. I
It's
don't
good,
know
isn't it?
why I put it off for so long, and I got my shirt in the mail 2 days ago.
What? You could have bought one off me. I've got one somewhere.
Well,
It's
no.
large size though. Are you talking about? Pardon?
Yes.
Are you talking about a Hellfire Club T-shirt?
Yes,
Cool.
absolutely.
Yeah, they are the sort of, if you like Stranger Things, they are the must. They're like
Yes.
they're like the badge as a Stranger Things fan to have that particular
Yeah.
T-shirt. But
Even though I am not going to Dragon Con, I'm
Mm.
going downtown to Atlanta during Dragon Con to meet
okay.
with some people,
yes.
and I'm planning to wear that shirt that day.
Okay. Well, it's funny to say that because I don't tend to watch things twice, but Deb is watching Stranger Things all the way through from one to the end, and she's totally hooked on it. She's having already watched it. In fact, she's able to watch it through. It's a bit like Big Bang Theory, and you can watch that over and over again without getting bored of it. So I am intending, once I've cleared all my backlog of things I need to watch Stranger Things from the beginning again, and I'm really
So
looking forward to it.
I will be probably watching episode 8 of season 4 tonight. When I get
So
a
that's
chance
the only
to
one you
sub-
haven't seen then.
that's I'm in the middle of the next to last. That's the next to last episode, and that's like another hour and a half for that one. I don't know how long the last episode is. So
Same sort of length, really.
I will finish this week though.
This is another feature-length episode.
Yeah. So other things I've been watching, I saw the 5 little I Am Groot shorts, which are hilarious on Disney Plus, which led me into watching Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one again. I finished Obi-Wan Kenobi. Took a while because I was watching that with the geek daughter, and we were having trouble with our schedules, trying to figure out when we could finish it. And so we finished that on Friday night, yeah. And now I've started watching Obi-Wan Kenobi again with Fred. And for some reason I got into a need to have musicals on while I was working. You know, I work from home some of the time, and so in the past couple of weeks I've watched The Pajama Game, Guys and Dolls, and Hairspray.
You can always listen to the indierockdiscoradio.com during the day. It's a very good daytime listen.
Send me that link.
Yes, I thought you already had. By the way, I don't know.
And I started watching Rowan Atkinson's Man vs. Bee. It's not his best work.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. Deb's watched it. She enjoyed some of it.
Wait, if you're moving on, I've got one more thing.
Go on, then.
Were you going to ask me something?
No, just...
Okay, I wanted to tell you about last evening's weird adventure here in North Georgia. Fred and I were getting ready to order from McDonald's, and so we walked into our kitchen, and I looked out the front door, and there's no house across the street from me. There's a slope into some woods, and normally middle daughter parks her car there. But we looked over there, and there was this dirty, old, large RV, recreational vehicle. I guess you would call it a caravan. I don't know. It was there. It was dirty. There were a whole bunch of people around it, and there was this guy on the edge of the woods looking down into the woods. And we're going, what's going on? Are we going to have to call the police? What's going on? Which was followed by a large guy coming out of the woods carrying a blue tarp. And we're going, what is going on? And I go over to my neighbors, who happens to know the people across the street from her, and that guy who owns that house came out, and we asked him, do you know what's going on? He was filming a movie. And apparently the guy and these other people all been in, Walking Dead. And so I was able to walk over and meet some of these guys, and one of whom introduced himself as Indiana. His name is Indiana Cifuentes. He's Mexican-born American actor. He was in Walking Dead as one of the I forget. I didn't see all of Walking Dead, but it was just weird.
Oh, sorry, have you done? Sorry.
Yeah, it was just a very strange thing because we were thinking there's this crime scene going on across the street from us.
Have you done?
Yes.
All right. Just wanted.
I guess it wasn't interesting.
No, sorry, I drifted. I was watching the Southern Braves doing really, really badly at the cricket. But never mind. Lillian Robbins says, "Help me." So if anybody in America, call 911. Because I don't know what she needs help with, but she obviously needs help with something. So 911 for Lillian Robbins. Lillian might need to post your address on the some sort of PM to somebody who's in America, so they can call. If you're still alive, obviously, and someone can get some help to you. See, we help people here on the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast, and Ben can now press a button so Mary can say her bit.
So tell us what she's watched this week, and what she's listened to in a Mustang, and also what was read in the world of Mary Blitzlang. Mary Blitzlang. And when it comes to Big Finish, she's the leader of the gang. Gang. So shut your mouth, pray silence hears Mary Blitzlang.
Wow. Okay, well, in terms of new things that I'm watching, I'm on the third episode of The Sandman, which is the Neil Gaiman, I think it was a graphic novel.
Graphic novel, yes.
Yeah, and now Netflix is carrying the live action Sandman. It's very good. The CGI in it is wonderful. So if you have it available to watch, I would recommend checking it out. In terms of things that are older, for some reason, I've been in this mood to go into old Doctor Who. So I watched Full Circle, which was Adric's introduction to the Fourth Doctor. And I really liked Adric. And I still don't know why that everyone thought he was so terrible. Because
they were just jealous, Mary, because he was a young lad who got a major part in Doctor Who. Yes, I like him too. Can't vouch too much for Matthew Waterhouse, because he's a bit sort of didn't seem like he wanted to be at the convention. I sat next to him at a dinner evening. He was all right enough, but yeah, he's okay. Carry on.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, as a character, I never had a bad thought about Adric. And, watching this reminded me of, how, actually, I liked him. And I listened to some old Big Finish Doctor Who episodes. The most important one, I would say, The Harvest, which was an introduction to a new Big Finish. They weren't introducing too many new companions in the early days, so the introduction of Hex with the Seventh Doctor and Ace was kind of a big deal, and Hex was in a lot of the episodes after that, and I always liked Hex too. He was a little bit more relatable. Ace seemed to go, I don't know, macho and explosives and all this stuff that you wouldn't normally do or relate to, but Hex was a more normal, relatable kind of guy, so that was his introduction. I've also been listening to some old Jago and Lightfoot stories, which are just delightful. I know we lost the one actor fairly recently, and so it's just
that
nice.
Was years ago.
Years ago?
Yeah, when which one of them died?
Yeah, I thought it was just last year that he died.
Are they both dead?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, if I could remember what his name was, we could look it up and see. And I'm about to start into a recent Sixth Doctor box set, him and Mel, and the box set is called Waterworlds, but I haven't started listening to it yet. And I've been watching a lot of baseball, because this is baseball season, and I've been a little distracted even during the podcast, because I've been sort of watching the baseball game while we've been talking. So I'm sorry about that, but you guys watch your football. I watch my baseball.
We're watching cricket.
Yeah, and getting right. Well, amazing that he's managed to be the second cricketer ever to get 100 in the 100. But it seems a bit of a sort of theme that it seems to be against Southern Brave. So I think I need to look at that, the coaching staff of Southern Brave, and yes, put a bit more effort in. But yeah, well, incredible to now. But he's a top scorer, isn't he? First, it was 106 he got, 108. I can't remember what he got now. Either way, the highest score an individual batsman has got in the 100.
Trevor Baxter, who played Lightfoot, died in 2017.
Yes.
Christopher Benjamin is still alive.
Okay, yeah, I knew one of them was still alive, but
but 2017 was.
Yeah, that is a few years.
5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, because I've been listening to the stories, that I think of them more currently.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to pay tribute to Jax, whose first name I don't know because I haven't got the sound up, of the Oval Invincibles, who scored an incredible 108. Was it 108, Ben? I think it was. Basically, they scored in total, was it 140 or something like that, and he got 108 of them. It's ridiculous. There you go. I told you they were going to win, didn't I? What's the matter with Southern Braves? We're all going wrong.
They
like Manchester United
won last year. That's the problem.
Yeah, everybody wants to be.
They won last year, and because they won last year, they've now peaked way too soon.
Yes, and they're
and
allowing individual batsmen to score centuries in a sport where it's extremely difficult to do so. Right then, so that's sort of next week. Yes, we must talk about next week because it's an episode I'm really looking forward to seeing because I haven't seen it that often, and that's Amy's Choice, I believe it's called. Is that right?
Amy's Choice, yes.
Creepy
Amy's
episode.
Choice, which has a friend of mine called Joe. God darn, I should remember his surname. Oh, blast. Hang on, I've got to look it up now because I don't want to do him a discredit. Oh, dear. Joe Bone, yes. A friend of mine called Joe Bone. He's a screenwriter, so he writes movies, and he's forever name-dropping one of his friends called Toby, somebody or other, who plays the main character in Amy's Choice, Toby Jones. Is it Toby Jones?
Toby Jones, right? Yes.
I get a ding.
Isn't he Dobby?
He's Dobby as well, yes.
Yes.
You get a ding. Oh, I missed it. Sorry, you don't get that ding. Oh, see, fate dictated, Kirby, that if I miss the button, you don't get it. Right, yeah, so Joe Bone, good friend of mine, played badminton with him a few times before he decided to get himself injured. And he's rather a prolific screenwriter. So if you've heard any of the films he's done. Oh, he played a voice in Tom and Jerry. He has acted as well, but no, he's written
some of the Marvel.
The Vanishing.
Bad guy.
A film called The Vanishing.
He was a German scientist in one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe things.
I don't think he was. I think you're getting the wrong person. Joe Bone, Bone.
Oh no, I'm talking about.
Who did you think I was talking about?
I was talking about Toby Jones.
Toby Jones, yes. I'm talking about Joe Bone, the chap who I know, a friend of mine who played badminton. Anyway, so he wrote a film called The Vanishing, and he was in. He was a voice from Tom and Jerry, and he was in 6 Minutes of Midnight and The Alienist. But he's got about 3 or 4 films that he's already penned, and they're sort of in the production process. Obviously, one of them of which stars his friend Toby Jones, who's in Amy's
Doctor
Choice.
Who.
Amy's Choice and
Amy's Choice.
The Harry Potter Wizarding World universe thingy. So next week we'll be doing that story. Well, I'd say next week with
feed?
Hope. What? On the feed. Well, no. Just Lydian Robin saying help me again in reference to The Fly and when Terry Miles said there's a fly behind you. I think he's talking because I'm trying to kill a horrible little fly that was in the room, and behind me is my jeans that I've got draped over, which you can probably see the fly of.
He's referring to a
film called The Fly with an actor who was in one of the Jurassic films.
Help me!
Vincent Price.
No, not that fly. That's the original one you're thinking of.
That's the one where the
Jeff Goldblum one.
That's the line. That's where the "Help Me" line is from.
Yes.
I thought so. He didn't use that, and I like the Jeff Goldblum one. That's a really good one. That one.
I can't stand that one because it's gross.
Neither. I like the Price one.
That's a good one. I like both of them. To be fair. Right then. So I'm just checking my diary to see what I've got on next week. So now hold your horses somewhat.
The best version of The Fly was the one by U2.
Right, yes, I'm all right for next week. And the week
Yay.
after. No, sorry, next week's all right. The week after, oh, well, no, I have got, that's all right, I'm going to delete that one. Where am I? I've got to check that one's on, whether that's on or not. Oh, I'm working, no. Where's small photo shoot? I can't, I'll be working, so I'll delete that. So I'm all right then for the 21st, 28th, not so much on the 4th, because I've...
So I need to mark out
Oh,
the 4th.
no, I don't know what's happening on the 4th. I think I might be on, oh, God. We'll leave the 4th, because I'm not sure about that. The 11th, 18th, 25th, 2nd, 9th, 16th,
Okay,
23rd,
that's good enough.
30th, 6th, 13th, 20th, 27th, 4th, 11th, 6th, 18th. Not the 25th, not the 1st, and then the 8th, 15th. At the moment, it's all right.
I've lost track. That's fine enough.
At the
I've
moment.
lost the will to care.
But if I get a job that requires my services on a Sunday evening,
Yes,
then I
we
will
understand.
be doing that. So until next time, thank you for listening, watching, taking part in the show. Please give us feedback, because Kirby starts grizzling. He doesn't do it on air, but as soon as we stop recording, he goes, "You didn't get any feedback this week," and we have to put up with another half hour of trying to consulate. No, what's the word, Ben?
Consummate.
Consummate. Yes, making him feel better. Right then, so until then, goodbye.
Goodbye, fancy pants.
Bye.
There we had to laugh.
Oh, we had a laugh.
The 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast is an APV Services production sponsored by whowon.co.uk, lavazi.co.uk. We are a proud member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance. Doctor Who is a trademark of the BBC. No copyright infringement intended.